morning, guys.
Good morning.
We are up on top of the shipping container, like you can see, and we're gonna start doing these rafter extension pieces. They're 10 foot long, and they're basically just like the ones on the other side of the barn, of the small roof. But the big thing is they're gonna continue off of these 2x10s. So you see we have a notch in here, and you'll see through the video how we plan on connecting these to one another. We're gonna bolt them on the back side where we welded those brackets. Those will be bolted just like they are on the other side, and that will tie this whole building together, which would be incredibly strong. So I'm really excited just to see how this works. Like we talked about before, we've already done one of these rafters at the very front of the barn so that we could add our extension and all that stuff onto it. So it looks like it's going to work out beautifully. Every little cut is a little bit different, like maybe a 1/16 off, just depends on how straight I was cutting.
We're gonna definitely measure every one and cut them to fit specifically to extend from each rafter. We don't want to have any waste, and we just figured this will be easier. We would prefer to do like a where we just cut a whole bunch and then throw them up like we did with these big rafters, but it's just I don't think it would work as well if we did that.
So everyone's going to be just a little bit different, which is no big deal. It's really easy for us to take a measurement, especially since there's two of us up here. We can just measure off of our template block for our bird's mouth. So we'll cut a bird's mouth, and then we'll butt it into here and get a measurement, and it should go relatively smooth. It should be pretty simple.
We have our whole workstation set up here versus how we did it on the other shipping container, whereas I was up on top, Levi was down below cutting. We're gonna do everything up here until we can't.
Until we run out of room. We might have to cut those last 6 or so down on the ground, but that's not a big deal. So let's jump on it. We have to drill holes, bolt those sides. We have some brackets we're going to use to attach the rafters to one another. So everything's up here. We should be good to go.
And it's going to be a nice day. Not quite as beautiful as the day before, but hey, it's still going to be in the 50s, and I will take it.
We'll take that. So if we could get this done, this would be amazing to get this whole stretch.
And
the barn is really looking
we can
like
sheet
a barn.
the roof.
Oh yeah.
And then we can dry it in and start working on the inside. And we're so excited to show you guys what we have really cool going on for that.
So, stay tuned. It's going to be fun. So cool. Let's get going. All right, so we're going to show you guys the process we're using to put these rafters up. First thing is we have a template bird's mouth cut in that we use to make a notch or a bird's mouth where we bolt it on. So Tanya will hold this down there and plumb it up. We have a 5/12 pitch cut on the end of that, and then I'm going to measure from the long point of that board to the short point of our rafter, our 2x10 rafter. And then we can take a measurement, we'll transfer it onto a board and cut that out. So we'll show you guys. All right, 91 7/8. And we're starting to hear frogs from these last couple days of warm weather. It's crazy. So I'm going to transfer this over here. This is a good candidate board. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 5/12 pitch, which is 22.5 degrees on the end of this. And what I did is when I looked at it, I crowned it. So this is the up. So just like we talked about before, you always want to make sure that the crown of this board is facing up. That way over time, snow, any load on your roof, that will, if it does settle in at all, it'll go back to being straight. So we'll cut this angle on here. then use our template. We'll measure 91 7/8. And we'll set our template on here. Right to that long point of this board, and then we're just going to mark our bird's mouth. Then you could use a skill saw, but like I said before, I don't like to run my skill saw past to complete these cuts. So because this bird's mouth is not very big, I'm just going to use a jigsaw. All right, and then we'll throw it up. All right, so we bring it over here. We set it down on our notch we made for the rafters, and then each board is a little bit different width. Some of them are 5 7/16, some of them are 5 5/8. So it just depends. So we cut these notches to be kind of in the middle, and then what we do is we just shave this down. So it looks like we need to take about 1/8 of an inch off. We check our angle. Everything looks pretty good. I can take a little bit out of the top of this, and then a good 1/8 out of the bottom. So what I'm doing is I'm just marking the board, and then I'm using this little palm sander. It's just a belt sander, but it's a palm size, so you don't have to hold this big huge belt sander. This thing is amazing for doing cabinets, especially. I put in a lot of kitchens back in the day, and so this thing came in handy. Just any type of shaving I need to do down. So we'll just go ahead and knock some of this down, and we'll get it to fit perfectly in that notch so that it's nice and flat on the top, and then we'll bolt it to the shipping container. Test fit. Looks like it needs a little bit more. Yeah. And that's our process. So then what we're going to do now is we're going to attach our bracket. So these are tie brackets. Simpson Strong Tie makes them, so you can get them at any hardware store. And then they just get attached with, they have special nails for them. And they're just 1¼ inch nails, and they get attached on here. And so what we're doing is we're going to lay the board down, and we're going to attach this bracket onto the board first, and then we'll attach it to the rafter. Okay, so now that we know it fits and everything's good that way, we're just going to set this down here, and we're going to nail this on. And you want to fill all these nails in. Alright, so now we did that. You can throw this up here. And then Tanya's going to have to hold this board so that it's perfect here. I'm going to drill down at the bottom. So as you guys saw on the other side of the shipping container, we have these brackets, and they have a hole drilled in them. We're just going to drill this.
Okay.
Good? So we just take that. We're using some 2-inch bolts, so they're just long enough to reach through. Built-in washer on one side, which will go into the wood, and then we're just using a nut and washer over here on the bracket side, and then fastening these down to the shipping container. So that's nice and strong. And then all we have to do is just fasten this bracket to the rafter. And there's one rafter. And so after that, we just have to do this on each and every one. It does seem like a timely process, but it really makes this strong and this connection really, really solid. And so we'll just continue marching along down the rows until we get them all done.
By stocking gloves with how many pairs of gloves we go through.
You know why I'm always looking.
Yeah, I think gloves are your favorite thing. And hats, gloves and hats. Maybe hoodies.
I do love some hoodies.
Gloves, hats, and hoodies.
T-shirts.
What is it? Okay, so you pretty much like everything except for pants. And mine is. All right. Let's go to the next one.
Wash and repeat.
Nice for the last one of the day, huh?
Yeah. Good shoulder.
Now I feel bad.
From all the climbing up and down the scaffolding yesterday.
I like it. What's going on, guys? We are up here cutting these rafters out,
And we just wanted to bring this up. Like these shipping containers have extra ribs on the roof of them. So in a perfect world like this one, the rafter would just run alongside of this. And these brackets are every 16 inches, but what occasionally is going to happen, like we have in the middle of the container, is we have to make an extra notch out of this board. So this is basically the notch, the bird's mouth that's going to hook on the container, and then this is where that rib is. So just be on the lookout for that, because you don't want to set this down and then have it rest on that rib and not know it. And then if you ran your level across the joist to see if they're all the same, or the rafters, you're going to have one that's higher than another, and chances are it's because of this. So keep that in mind when you're building something on top of these.
So here you can see where that little cutout is. It just kind of goes right over that rib so that everything sits nicely on the shipping container.
This one's for you, Rob. Really, huh?
No, it's actually not at all. I'm surprised. I really thought it was going to.
Well, I put a little extra shim at the bottom to get it off there just a little bit.
Well, that explains it.
So it's nice.
It's nice.
Cool.
Measurement.
Put this one. That's like the best one we did. It took 30 tries to get to that one right there.
My measuring skills. All right, guys.
We are done.
The rafters are done.
Oh, feels so good.
It is amazing, like how a few days of really nice weather
Able to accomplish so much.
Yeah.
Not having to battle the cold and, you know,
rain and snow and ice.
Ice and, you know, uncovering all of our lumber. We could just jump right into work. So it's been really nice to have a good couple of days worth of weather and to get a lot accomplished. So
yeah. So we still have a little bit of work that we have to do before we can call it quits for today, but it's gonna be a piece of cake. We're gonna skip lunch. We're just gonna
power through.
I'm
gonna throw the hurricane straps up at the top, and Tanya's gonna finish nailing off all these brackets down here where we put the rafters together, and then we'll go and enjoy the evening. It's gonna be nice and beautiful, and enjoy a good dinner.
Yeah. So we'll
see you guys.
See you guys in the next one.
Peace.